Some people no want make you better pass them. Then they fear say your rising fit scatter the balance wey hold their own life. But inside this story wey I wan talk so, you go witness something deeper. No matter the jealousy wey hide for shadow, no matter the hand wey try to block person destiny, who God choose to lift, he must rise. Nothing fit chain am. And remember, this sky is big enough for everybody to fly. This is Tales by Blessed Abi, where every story gets secret wey dey whisper from the darkness. In a quiet village, there lived an 18-year-old girl named Kuburat, a girl whose dreams were stitched with hope. Her widowed mother, Mama Kuburat, had struggled for years, selling firewood, all in the hope that one day her daughter would learn a trade and build a better life. And in that village, there was only one place people trusted for tailoring: the shop of Madam Fisayo, the biggest and most respected fashion designer in the entire community. She was the only one who sold modern styles, attended big ceremonies, and dressed the wives of chiefs. To the villagers, she was a gift, but to her apprentice, she was a different story. The day Kuburat arrived with her small bag and nervous smile, the village women nodded approvingly. "Now big luck carry this girl come here," they whispered. "That woman go change her life." Even Mama Kuburat's eye glowed with relief. She believed Kuburat had found a path to greatness. Madam Fisayo welcomed them with her usual warm smile, the kind that could fool even the wisest heart. For 2 years' time, she told Kuburat confidently, "You go fit sew any style wey your eyes see, no worry." Kuburat believed her. Everyone did. But the truth was waiting silently behind the curtains of that shop. From her first week, Kuburat began to notice strange things. She and the other apprentices lived in a small boys' quarters at the back of Madam Fisayo's compound. Cramped, hot, and always noisy. Every morning before dawn, they swept Madam Fisayo's compound, washed plates, fetched water, and cleaned the shop before she even stepped outside. And when it came to tailoring, Kuburat noticed something alarming. The apprentices were never allowed to see Madam Fisayo's cut clothes. They were only allowed to iron, to hold fabric, to run errands, and to sew tiny scraps that meant nothing. Whenever customers came with plenty of clothes, Madam Fisayo would smile, accept it, and disappear inside her room. No one saw how she measured. No one saw how she cut. She would only come out with the fabric already cut into pieces, ready for stitching. One day, Kuburat asked a senior apprentice, Kemi, "Auntie Kemi, why Madam no dey cut cloth for shop?" Kemi looked around cautiously and lowered her voice. "Kuburat, Madam no wan make person sabi anything here. Na why she dey carry cloth enter her room. I don dey here 4 years now, 4 good years. I never learn anything." Kuburat's heart dropped. 4 years and nothing to show for it. Fear crept into her chest. Her mother had sold her last goat to pay for this training. What would she go home with if she learned nothing? Days turned into weeks, and Kuburat soon realized Madam Fisayo did not train anybody. She managed her apprentice through fear and manipulation. Every time a girl showed the smallest interest in learning, Madam Fisayo would assign her new errands. If anyone asked a question, Madam embarrassed her in front of customers. When the girls tried to observe her sewing techniques, she shielded the machine with her body. And whenever a girl's training money expired, Madam would say the same cold words: "Your money don't finish, oh. If you won't continue, bring another one. I know they run charity organization for here." Many girls returned home empty-handed. Their families cried. Madam did not care. But Kuburat was different. She wanted to fight for her dream. So she watched quietly, studied silently, observed patiently. Every night in the boys' quarters, she practiced sewing straight lines on old papers, old wrappers. She studied leftover pieces of fabric, memorized cutting patterns from discarded nylon bags, and even practiced measurements using sticks. A kind woman named Mama Peace, who sold snacks beside the shop, began to notice her efforts. One afternoon, she called Kuburat aside and said gently, "My daughter, you get better eye. Use am well. No dey depend on Madam Fisayo. Teach yourself." Mama Peace has a daughter who is in her second year at the university. She overheard her mom advising Kuburat. She offered to help Kuburat learn faster by giving her time to use her smartphone to watch YouTube tutorials on cutting and sewing of dresses. Kuburat will sneak into Mama Peace's house, especially when the daughter is on holidays, to learn on YouTube. This fastened her knowledge on sewing. There are styles even Madam Fisayo doesn't know, which Kuburat now knew. Sometimes, while learning, Chisimdi would laugh and say, "See as e easy. If Madam see this style, she go shock." But Madam noticed her growth too, and jealousy entered her heart. She began sending Kuburat on the longest errands, sometimes to the far end of the village. If Kuburat returned quickly, Madam shouted that she should go back. She hid her cloth patterns. She blamed Kuburat for mistakes she didn't make. And one day in front of customers, she screamed, "You no go ever better pass me to Fiakwa." The whole shop went silent. Kuburat felt tears gather in her eyes, but she swallowed them. Then the worst news came. One morning, Madam called her aside and said coldly, "Your training money go soon finish. You go finish next week. If you no bring another money, no come here again." Kuburat fell to her knees. "Madam Fisayo, abeg, you never teach me anything. Show me small technique. I take God beg you." Madam hissed loudly. "No be my business. Stand up, comot for my front." Kuburat cried that night until her pillow was wet. The village believed Madam Fisayo was a saint, but the apprentices were living in her shadow of greed and insecurity. 2 days later, something happened that nobody in the entire village expected, and this was where everything began to change. If you think this part 1 was shocking, part 2 will leave you speechless. Kindly like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next part and other amazing stories. Till I bring another story your way, remain blessed. Bye.